Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you yet again with another video, and today we just got some random Hot Wheels premium stuff, as you could probably tell by the title of the video, but we're going to go ahead and get into that. By the way, if you're new to the channel, thanks for arriving here today and watching this video. Lots of Diecast 1/64 scale content and some other scales occasionally on the channel, so I would appreciate a subscription, maybe, a like, maybe a comment. That'd be all be cool. I hate asking for that stuff, but apparently you gotta, I think, and then people actually maybe do it. I don't know. Is that how it works? Yeah. We're gonna go through some random Hot Wheels premium models again here. Stuff that I didn't really complete like a full set of, so you know, it's kind of a bit random. Some of it from last year, some of it from this year. This is, we're gonna start with this 2003 Dodge Viper SRT10 from Fast and Furious premium set. Let's see what else was in the set. So I picked up, I think, 3 cars from the set that we have today. The 2 that I didn't pick up are the 70 Chevelle and the Land Rover Defender. I think because these are definitely repeats and I already had them from another set is why I didn't grab them. But we do have 3 of the models here today. We'll start with this Dodge Viper. Get that sucker open and check it out. So pretty sweet, looking pretty good. I believe this was, yeah, so this was a brand new model. I think it debuted in this Fast and Furious set. This might actually be the only release of it so far. Copyright date is 2024. Yeah, it's pretty sick. They came out with like 2 new Viper castings recently. They did like the original RT10, I think, right? And then they did this one. The original RT10 was put out in, maybe they actually did 3 different Viper castings in the last like year. I think they have. They've been really revisiting the Dodge Viper, which is good. Excuse me. They've had several previous Dodge Viper castings, but now that they're just making toolings a lot better these days, it's nice to see some updated toolings for some Dodge Vipers. Cool car. And this looks to be quite nice. Also to note, a lot of the newer castings are very much closer to actually being 1/64 scale, which is a welcome change. So I dig it. This looks really nice. I think they did a good job with it. It's Hot Wheels premium, so of course metal body, metal base, rubber tires, detail all over. We got some dot matrix looking stuff there. I always complain about the graphics on these premium cars. Sometimes it looks worse than others. This one, I mean, yeah, if you get up close, it's not great looking, but from a distance, it looks fine. So, pretty nice. Digging that one. Nice little red Viper. Cool. Let's go ahead and check out the next one. The next one is a Nissan 370Z. Well, it was 3 of 5 in the set. Wow, there's dust on this packaging. It's been sitting around for a little while, for quite a while. Let's go ahead and open up this one. Check it out. Excuse me. Look at the base first. I always like to take a peek at that. Copyright date is 2009 on the casting. The only reason why I look at that, if you're new to the channel, I talk about it all the time. I look at that copyright date because that kind of cues you into how old or when the tooling actually came out. Not when this car was, not this particular version was released. It doesn't tell you anything about that. Although it does, I guess, if you know the date code, right there is T38, which is the 38th week of 2024, I think. So if you know that, then you can tell when it was produced. I don't really care necessarily about that. I like to know how long the tooling has been around, and this will tell us by that copyright date, approximately, and it's usually somewhat correct, 2009. So about 2010 is when this tooling would have came out. I think when it debuted, though, it was not a metal base. I think it was probably plastic base for the main line, but I could be wrong on that one. But anyway, this looks pretty decent. It's a decent tooling. Older than the Viper tooling, but looks pretty good. We've got some details here that look fairly nice. I've always liked the front end of this car, how it looks like it's got teeth. And it's got those like 2 bottom, like kind of fang-looking teeth. It's kind of neat. So yeah, there's that one. Not much else to talk about there. Lastly, for the Fast and Furious little mini set we've got here, this is a McLaren Senna. Super cool car. Kind of cool casting by Hot Wheels. Very ambitious to try to produce this car as a Hot Wheels with all the little intricacies that are going on with the design of this car, because it is a crazy looking car with a lot of, you know, weird stuff going on. Mini GT makes a great casting, McLaren casting, so that would be a good one to check out to kind of compare to see what it really looks like in detail. But I think Hot Wheels did a pretty darn good job of replicating the vehicle with the limited the limitations of making it a Hot Wheel and having to tool it with, you know, a specific amount of parts and all that jazz. So this one, copyright date is 2018 on this tooling, so it's been around for a little bit now, pretty much since the Senna was in existence. So it's kind of a interesting color red. It's not quite like bright red like this. It's got a weird kind of hue to it, almost orange, but pretty nifty, pretty cool. I like this one. What I've noticed about all these, they all have the same wheel type, pretty much. Look at that. Same wheel type. It's just black. It's the same wheel type. All three of these cars. But it works. It works for all three cars, so that's kind of okay, I guess. All right. Let's open up these F1s real quick. We've got this Kick Sauber F1 team. I've been picking up these kind of as I've been finding them. Not sure I really like the packaging on these, because I like that it comes with a little plinth and it's screwed down or whatever, but they don't give you anything to cover the car with, so storage is an issue if you're going to have them screwed down to this and opened. So generally, I'll show you what I do, what I've been doing so far with these. So we can remove the base and check out the casting. While you're looking at that, let me get a scissors. What I do is I just take this packaging, I open it from the top, leave the bottom intact, and then I'm going to cut along the top here. So then, when I want to just store the car, I can just put it back on the base and kind of just put it back in here, and then that's how it gets stored. So always little hacks and stuff for the different types of cars that you have in your collection. When you're a loose car collector, it gets a little complicated with how you want to store cars and keep them in good shape, preserve them, and be able to store a ton of them. There are some challenges with that. I do still need to make a video on that subject, because I have, over the years, developed many different ways to store loose cars without damaging them over a long period of time. And eventually, I think I need to share that with the collecting community, because I think that would be beneficial to a lot of people that have loose cars, because depending on what it is, I have different ways of storing them. And I'm sure you guys all have tips and tricks and stuff out there as well. But here's this. Looks awesome. Definitely digging this F1 stuff. This looks so fantastic in this gloss. Most of these F1 cars are like a matte finish. This is a gloss, and it looks really nice. Let's go ahead and open up the McLaren Formula 1 team. So I'm going to do the same thing with this card. Open it from the top. Slide out the car. I'll cut the card later, but just so you know, that's what I am going to do. And then we'll unscrew it from the base just to check it out here. Of course, it'll end up back on the base pretty much after this video is done, but got to pull it out and roll it around for a little bit. Oh, geez. And the nice thing about these is, you know, you'd think this would be a generic tooling for each team, but it's not. They actually tooled these accurate for each race car. So it's not just one generic tooling. It actually is, you know, legitimately the tooling for the car to make it look the most accurate as possible. And I think that's fantastic. The other real cool thing about these F1 cars is these are 1/64 scale. They are. They're very much accurately scaled. You can see how long, just how long these race cars are, these F1 cars. It's pretty crazy, actually. You know, quite longer than a Viper. Very, very long vehicles. Which is kind of interesting, right? But really nifty. And I like that they got this F1 license and that they're doing this. I think this is just fantastic. Really cool. I'll probably buy One of every livery. I know they're going to have like very similar ones with the different drivers from the team, but I will probably just get one of each livery, and that's probably how I will collect these. Same with the mainline ones. I'll collect every different one that they put out in mainline too. But these F1 cars are very nicely done. Very good job, Hot Wheels, on those. Quite good. Here's one that's a little older. Dodge van. And this is from the Hot Wheels Boulevard series, Hot Wheels Fire Protection. I was missing this car for a long time. Some of these Boulevard sets were really difficult to get a hold of. I think I've got the majority of this set now. The Dodge van might have been the only one I was missing. I might be still missing, actually, now that I'm looking at it, I might actually be still missing that Ford. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. But there was some of this set that I was missing. This one was hard to find. And then I got this eventually from a local meet, Hot Wheels meet that we have locally here. So I was glad to be able to grab this Dodge van. You know, I'm a van fan as it is, so too bad it took me too long to get this car, truck, van, whatever. But it's quite nice. Metal base, metal body. Looks pretty good. This one's been out for quite a while, so it's nothing new for you all to see. But copyright date on the casting, just so you know, is 2022. And it's a cool Dodge van casting. It's got like a little go-kart in the back. I don't know if you can see that cast into it. It's kind of weird, but pretty nifty. Pretty nifty. I think this is the only premium version of this tooling that we've gotten so far as I can remember. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. All right, we'll set that there. The rest of the stuff I think came out this year, pretty sure. So we got a Pop Culture. I think the rest of them are Pop Culture, yes. So every once in a while I pick up some Pop Culture releases when it is just a regular normal car without graphics on it. Unless it's a casting I collect, sometimes I will pick up the ones with graphic, like Weird SpongeBob Man, whatever, blah, 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 all that. All right, but this is a 2021 BMW M5 from Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning from Hot Wheels Pop Culture. These ones don't ever... The annoying thing about Pop Culture packaging is it doesn't tell you what's all like in the wave on the back. So if you're not paying attention, it's kind of hard to like really know like what's part of what wave or what came out in what. I mean, as a nice like clean version of this car, it's quite good, right? I mean, quite good. So this is a copyright date 2025, and it is a brand new tooling made in Indonesia. So this is a new tooling and quite a good little debut for this car. I think it's done quite well. We've got nice details on it. There's not much more that you could ask for from this BMW. I think it's quite a good little replica of the car, somewhat realistic, and looks quite nice. I think that it's quite good. So yeah, I recommend that one. And I'm typically more about collecting for realism, more than anything else, I would say. I do collect some other weird stuff, you know, in diecast, but it's just mostly realism. So when a car is a nice clean version of it, usually that's what really gets me going on it. All right, so this is also from Pop Culture, Top Gun Maverick, 71 Porsche 911 in a silver, and looks pretty good there. Let's go ahead and open it up. And it's looking pretty decent. Some weird thing going on in the wheel well there. Porsche. Weird casting line right there. Metal body, metal base. This tooling's copyright date is 2017, so it's been up for a bit. And pretty decent clean version of this, just that weird... Something's going on there, and that's a little weird. This side looks perfect. This side looks odd, to say the least. So, just a little bit weird. And, yeah. But there's that. Porsche fans will enjoy this release, of course. I want to say it's not the first time... Has this come out already? Or is this the first release that looked exactly like this? So it's not, the thing with Pop Culture, sometimes you will get some repeats. They'll reuse some stuff. It doesn't always happen, but it does happen sometimes. All right, Next are two race cars from two great racing games that are near and dear to me. Gran Turismo, to start with. This is a Lamborghini Huracan LP620-2 Super Trofeo. And, you know, I've been playing racing games with Gran Turismo and Forza basically since they've been in existence. You know, I don't really play video games as much anymore, but every once in a while I pick it up and play some Forza Horizon or something like that. But my kid is into it, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, racing games are always fun. And, you know, the cars, collecting the cars in the game was also fun. So this is 2016 copyright date on this casting. I actually remember when this casting came out. It did debut as a mainline. I'm not sure how often we actually got it with a metal base. I don't think that often. Is this the first version of it with a metal base? Am I just not remembering correctly? It may be. I'm not sure if this is the first premium version of the Super Trofeo that we got. It probably isn't, and I'm just misremembering, but, you know, someone that's really an aficionado of Hot Wheels will let me know in the comments down below. Is this or is this not? This is a very nice looking release. I think it's great. I like the gold. I like the gold wheels. I think it looks quite good, and the detail on it's nice. And I'm a fan of Hot Wheels race cars. That's really cool. All right, and then another one, and our last one for this video, is a 2016 Ford GT race course. This is a Forza Motorsport licensed one. I think they put these Forza and the Gran Turismo out like in the same set. I could be wrong on that, but I think they did, which is kind of funny. You know, you'd think they'd be, you know, two competing video game franchises. Although, what's interesting now is Forza Horizon is now available on PlayStation, which is somewhat interesting because it used to be exclusive to Microsoft Xbox, right? And then Gran Turismo exclusive to Sony. And now it looks like Forza is, you know, on Sony, which is interesting. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that, but very cool. Anyway, Forza Motorsport. I hate console-specific titles because it just, you only want to have to buy one system, right? And be able to play out, you know, whatever you want. So, very cool. Nice casting, pretty decent job they did on this one. This is an older tooling. Well, not older. It's 2016, so I guess we're approaching 10 years on it. So, which is insane to think about, really. Just insane. And it's pretty nifty. So, yeah, digging it. Definitely prefer the Lambo over the Ford GT in this instance, but they got a similar color scheme going on, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to open up these models because they were sitting around, and I just like, well, I got to get these open, and I'm not collecting a full series. What can I do for a video? Let's just put them all together and shoot opening them. I really think these look amazing. I'm a big fan of that. Other than that, my favorite model of today, if we take out the F1 cars, might actually be this Lamborghini or the BMW or this. I don't know. I can't decide. You decide for me. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great day.